Hey, hi and welcome back. So in previous video, we completed the circuit explanation of power supply unit circuit, and I hope that every single thing that we discussed in previous video is now clear to you. And from this video, we are actually going to start with the schematic design of our hardware. Okay. And also we are going to create the schematic design of power supply unit circuit. Okay. So now let's start with this video, which is about schematic design of power supply unit. So first of all, let me explain this entire setup. So on the right hand side, we have this schematic editor with us. And then on the left hand side, left top corner, this is basically the same circuit, power supply unit circuit that we discussed in the previous video. Okay. And here on the bottom left corner, we have the image of the PCB. Okay. So when we will design this schematic, you can refer this particular image. And from here, you will get the idea about the components that we are actually using. Okay. So let's start with the schematic design process now. So I have already saved this particular project, and I have saved this project in this location, which is C user system documents Eagle project / Intenshala PCB design training. And I have named this particular project with customized Arduino Uno. Okay. So that's basically the name of project. It's because the hardware that we are creating, this particular hardware is basically a kind of customized Arduino Uno board. Okay. That's the reason I have saved this particular project with this name, customized Arduino Uno board. Okay. And on this schematic editor, you can see I have already created the layout or the borders for all the different blocks which are actually present on our hardware. So power supply block, then likewise there are different blocks in our hardware which you already know. So I have already created the border for all the blocks with the help of this option, which is line option. So you already know we can create the borders using this particular option. And for that, we need to use this symbols layer. Okay. And if you have to give the name to a specific block, then you can use this particular option, which is text option. And here later you can enter some text, or you can enter the name of that particular block. And later you will get that name here. And after right clicking on this, after going to the properties, from here you can actually increase or decrease the size of that particular block's name. Okay. So let's start with the power supply schematic now. So first of all, what we will do, I will get all the symbols which are actually present in this circuitry. So I will start from this particular symbol, which is of DC power jack. And in order to get this DC power jack, you have to go to add parts. So here you have to go to PC library, and in PC library you will find the connector PC_con_DC power jack. So you have to select this particular library. I'm actually going to provide all these libraries to you, so you can install these libraries in your computer, and later you can use these libraries to create the schematic. Okay. So I will select this library, and you can see this is how basically the symbol of this DC power jack look like, and this is the footprint of DC power jack. Okay. So after selecting this, I will click on OK, and later I will place this in the schematic editor, then escape. And again, now let's consider, let's take another symbol. So this is basically the power supply symbol of plus 12 volt. And I'm using plus 12 volt because we are going to power our circuitry with the plus 12 volt. That's the reason I'm going to use the plus 12 volt symbol. And also at this point, we are going to get the plus 12 volt. That's the reason I'm using this particular symbol. Okay. So in order to get this symbol, you have to go to the supply library. So this particular library is already integrated in the Eagle software. So you have to go to supply 1. And here you have to select this one, plus 12 volt. And after that, I will click on OK. And then I will place it here, escape. And later we will select the next symbol. So likewise, we will select all the symbols which are actually present in this circuitry. Then the next symbol is of Schottky diode. So in order to get this Schottky diode, you have to go to SparkFun library. So again, I'm going to provide this SparkFun library to you so that you can install this particular library, and later you can use it in your schematic. Okay. So in SparkFun library, you have to go to discrete semi, and inside discrete semi, you will see this diode dash Schottky. So you have to select, you will find the Schottky diode here. So you can use this one, but I'm going to use this one because we are using SS14 diode. So this is basically the symbol for SS14 diode, and later this is the footprint. So I will select this one, and after that I will click on OK, and later I will place here. After that, escape, and let's select another symbol, which is 100 microfarad capacitor. Now again, in order to get this symbol, you have to go to SparkFun capacitors, and here you have to look for the 100 microfarad. So this is basically the 100 microfarad capacitor that we are using. Okay, so I will select this symbol, I will select this particular library, and after that I will click on OK. So I will place it here and then escape, and after that the next component is a 0.1 microfarad capacitor, and the package of this particular capacitor is 0603. So I'm going to use the 0603 component. So for that you have to go to PC library, and you will find here the capacitor with 0603 package. So I will get this capacitor from here, and after that I will click on OK, and later I will rotate this capacitor first of all with the help of right click of mouse. So I will right click and then I will place it here and then escape. After that, the next component is 7805 IC. So in order to get this particular IC, you have to go to this library, which is linear library. I have actually given the wrong name here. It should be 7805. Okay, so instead of that I have actually given 7806. So let's go to the linear library, and let's select that particular component. So this is basically the linear library, and this library is already integrated inside the Eagle software. So you don't have to install this library, and after that you have to click on this 78 star, and later you have to select this option, which is 7805 DT. Okay, so this is basically the package that we are using for 7805 IC TO252. Okay, so that's basically the package. This is the symbol, this is the footprint, and later this is the 3D model. Okay, so let's select this library, and after that I will click on OK, and I will rotate this symbol, and later I will place it here and then escape. After that, the next components are capacitor, both the capacitors, electrolytic and then MLCC capacitor. Okay, which we already have in the schematic. So I'm just going to copy these two symbols. So I will copy this one, and I will place it here, and after that I will copy this one, and later I will place it here. Okay, and later we need this plus 5 volt symbol. So in order to get this symbol, again I will go to the supply library. So I will go to supply 1 library, and in supply 1 library we will find that particular symbol, plus 5 volt symbol. So you can see this is that symbol, this is that library. So I will select this one, and after that I will click on OK, and later I will place it here. Okay, and then escape and then cancel. So we have all these symbols. This symbol is remained ground symbol. So again I will go to the supply 1 library, and this is the symbol for ground. So I will select this one, and after that I will click on OK, and later I will place it here. Okay, and escape and then cancel. Alright, so we have all the symbols on our schematic editor for power supply block, and now it's time to arrange all these symbols. Okay, so I will maximize this schematic editor. Now let's arrange all these symbols properly. So from here, the entire process is going to be repetitive. So I'm just going to move all the components, and I'm going to arrange the components properly. And along with that, I'm going to place the names of all those components at the appropriate location. Okay, so now from here, you just observe the process and see how exactly I am doing. Alright, so we have placed all these components at the appropriate location, and I have also placed the names and the designator of all these components at the appropriate location. Now we are just left with the connections. Okay, so now let's connect all these components. So for that I'm going to use this option, net option. So from here we are going to get 12 volt, and then that 12 volt will go towards this diode, and after that this diode will get switched on, and later that 12 volt will travel towards this particular IC, and if there is noise on this particular line, then it will be filtered by this 100 microfarad capacitor and 0.1 microfarad capacitor. Okay, and then from here the ground line will come like this. So I'm going to connect these two terminals together, and because both of them are will be actually connected to the ground, and later I'm going to extend this particular line, and I'm going to connect at this point. So let's do the connection quickly. So this is basically the ground line, nothing else. So we just have to connect all these connections like this, and later this is basically the output line. From here we are going to get the output at this point, and later if there is any noise on the output line, then it will be filtered. Okay, so I will connect all these capacitor like this, and later this ground will be connected here. Now here it's asking whether you want to merge net N$3 into supply net ground. So it's asking whether we want to connect this net to this particular ground symbol or not. And generally you will get, this kind of warning whenever you are trying to connect the power symbol with any of the net. Okay, so this is basically the net, and here we are trying to connect this power symbol, which is actually the ground symbol. That's the reason we got this warning. So I'm just going to click on yes, and this ground symbol will be now connected here. Okay, so we are done with all the connections. So we are just left with this. I will connect it here, and again you can see this is basically a symbol, and we are trying to connect this symbol to this particular net. That's the reason it's asking. So I will click on yes, and we are done with everything now. It's just that I will place this symbol at the end just to make it a little bit systematic. So after filtering everything, we are going to get the 5 volt on the output side here. Okay, and now let me place let me select this entire schematic, and let me bring it in the center. So I will move this entire schematic, and I will place it here like this. Okay, so that's how basically we have to create the schematic for the power supply section, and I hope that every single thing is now clear to you. And the process to create the schematic is very simple, and we are going to use the same process in case of rest of the blocks. Okay, nothing complicated. And till the end of this entire training, you will actually master the schematic design process. Okay, so I hope that you will create the schematic on your side also. Okay, so you just have to use the same process that I showed you here, and you have to create the schematic on your side. Okay, alright, so that's what I wanted to tell in this topic. This was basically the last video of this topic, and I hope that every single thing that we discussed in this power supply topic is now clear to you. And if you still have any kind of doubt, then definitely you can reach to me and I will help you with that. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell in this topic. Now I will see you in the next topic, which is about microcontroller. Okay, so I will see you in the next video now.